Bron Breakker is one of the most promising talents to emerge from the developmental scene of NXT. Son of WWE Hall of Famer Rick Steiner, Bron Breakker is a second-generation wrestler who carries a legacy of his own with an impressive showcase of athleticism, charisma, and raw strength. Bron Breakker embodies the words dominance and pure power, as he has carved out quite an impressive resume down in the developmental brand. He is a former two-time NXT champion where he went on to dominate the brand for an entire year. And he is a former NXT Tag Team Champion with Baron Corbin, which truly explored the charismatic side of Bron Breakker's character. Bron Breakker has all the tools in the game to become one of the premier building blocks in WWE. The company has already invested majorly in his character, making him share the ring with surprise appearances like John Cena and The Undertaker. Over the years, NXT went under some drastic changes in the way that the brand has been run, as it turned from this independent scene where guys from the indies come in and strive into this developmental brand that creates the next generation of stars for WWE. The new style of NXT focused on the younger demographic of wrestlers to carve them into the WWE style of wrestling for a future call-up on the main roster. WWE was high on Bron Breakker, so he received plenty of TV time to see if he had the potential to be something huge. He only wrestled for a few months before he debuted in NXT, and in less than a year, he was already at the top of the mountain, defeating the Heart of Black and Gold, Tommaso Ciampa, for the NXT Championship. He dominated the NXT scene, and whenever you think about NXT 2.0, Bron Breakker is the first person on your mind. He had the jetpack strapped onto his back and became the top guy, which made it clear to the fans that he was going to become a big-time player on the main roster. He was a good guy for the start of his run in NXT, and his greatest upside was his impressive in-ring ability. I was a fan of Bron Breakker, but I feel like character-wise, I wasn't able to connect with him because I always felt like he would be a better bad guy than he was a good guy. For the better part of a year, Bron Breakker ran through NXT as a champion until he eventually lost it to another big-time player in Carmelo Hayes at Stand and Deliver. He would then end up turning into a heel the following Tuesday on NXT, and this is when Bron Breakker took his entire character up to a whole nother notch. Bron Breakker will go on to expand his character, showing he has the charisma to connect with the crowd. He has also showed he's pretty damn hilarious. I guess being funny runs in the Steiner family. Bron Breakker will go on to have a trilogy of matches with Carmelo Hayes and tear down the house with each encounter. I'm gonna call it right now. I think Bron Breakker and Carmelo Hayes are going to main event WrestleMania in a couple of years against one another. Call my shot right now, and I'm gonna come back to this video whenever in the future, whenever they do main events in one another. I'm gonna say I told you so. Bron Breakker had an impressive performance against Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship not too long ago. That was right before the Royal Rumble, and I felt like that's what sold me onto the hype of Bron Breakker as the next big thing. It was a phenomenal performance. He had an impressive showcase of his ability in the Iron Survivor match at NXT Deadline, where he went on to score 3 points immediately after he entered the match. He changed the whole trajectory of that match, and he turned up the pace with his quickness and the power behind all of his thunderous spears. Later on in the year, Bron Breakker will go on to enter the Royal Rumble at number 20 and immediately made an impact, spearing everyone in his path. He will go on to eliminate Finn Balor, Jimmy Uso, Ivar, and Omos. Bron Breakker would then go on to have a rivalry with Baron Corbin, who recently reinvented his character on NXT. They would go on to spark a heated rivalry filled with backstage brawls that led to a match at NXT No Mercy. After this rivalry, Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin became an unlikely pairing and were immediate favorites on the NXT brand. They would form the team named Wolf Dogs that led them to become NXT Tag Team Champions in what was a very entertaining run. They had this unmatched chemistry in tag team matches, and this team was what helped Bron flesh out the entertaining aspect of his character. The Wolf Dogs would go on to have amazing matches with Axiom and Nathan Frazier that could easily be claimed as the matches of the night on the respective shows it was on. I mean, Bron Breakker was running the rope so damn fast that he shifted the entire ring. That brother could move. The Wolf Dogs would eventually lose the tag titles on an episode of NXT to Axiom and Nathan Frazier, which was an amazing match that I recommend you to go out of your way to watch. This will end up being the last match that Bron Breakker had on NXT, as he bid his farewell as he was on his way to the main roster. Bron Breakker was recently drafted to Monday Night Raw in the first night of the draft, and it's clear that the sky's the limit when it comes to this beast of a human being. We have many potential matchups for Bron, as the second night of the draft stacked the mid-card division on Raw. We have incoming matches like Bron Breakker versus Ivar, Bron Breakker versus Dijak, Bron Breakker versus Gunther, Bron Breakker versus Sheamus, Bron Breakker versus Bronson Reed, Bron Breakker versus Drew McIntyre. I go on and on, but the matches are going to be amazing, and I promise you Bron Breakker is going to shine, and he is going to become one of your favorite superstars on the roster. I'm extremely excited to see the career of Bron Breakker unfold because he has an unlimited amount of untapped potential that he can reach, and only time will tell how long it will take for him to start having a main event program. WWE has found their next big star. Now we're gonna switch over to the Q&A section of this video. The first question is from Ahmed Yusuf. How well do you think Ilja would do on the main roster? In my opinion, Ilja Dragunov is one of the best wrestlers in the world, not only in WWE, in the world. I haven't seen a bad match from him. And looking at the mid-card division, we have a bunch of dogs on there. So I think Ilja Dragunov is easily going to fit in like a glove, and he might possibly even outshine everybody on that roster. Like, Ilja is just that damn dude. I just can't wait for him to have that program, that run with Gunther on the main roster, because I think the main roster crowd, the main roster audience is not ready for Ilja Dragunov. So I think he's gonna fit in like a glove, and eventually we're gonna see Ilja Dragunov take that world heavyweight championship and take it to new heights. I promise you that. The next question is from DBS Secret, and they ask, what are your thoughts on the women's division? I think WWE has the best women's division besides AEW's women's division. I think TNA has a pretty solid women's division as well. But in terms of star power, WWE has, like, it's unmatched. There's a talent all over the place. We got Bianca Belairs, the Jade Cargills, we got the Lyra Valkyrias, we got the Roxanne Perez's of the world, we got Blair Davenport, Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan. We have so many names, but the thing is, the women's division is not getting booked right. So it doesn't matter how talented you are, if you're not booked right, nobody's gonna care about you. I think the women's division is pretty good. I think Monday Night Raw has the best women's division right now, and I think Triple H will do a pretty good job after the draft with the women's division. So yeah, I feel like the Raw's women's division was lacking pretty heavily, but they got some pretty huge upgrades with the draft picks that they have so far. And yeah, I think Monday Night Raw is gonna be better on that side with the women. So yeah, and SmackDown's always dominated in terms of women talent. They always had star-studded roster, and they only getting better. So yeah, I think the women's division going forward might actually do a good freaking job. So yeah, that's what I think about the women's division. I think it's pretty solid right now. They just need to do better booking, way better booking. So for the next question, it's from Owethu Matika. I'm sorry if I butcher your name. He asks, what do you think of how WWE is handling LA Knight? I think WWE is handling LA Knight the best way that they can right now. We got to understand that there's so much talent on WWE's roster right now, and it's hard to bring everybody up on the same level, because you gotta have your top card division, you gotta have your mid card division, you gotta have your undercard division. And you can't have everybody get stacked up in the top, because then you're gonna have a bunch of people clashing heads, bumping heads. So I think LA Knight's in a perfect place right now. It's just that there's so many people that, I'm sorry, LA Knight is one of my favorites on the roster right now, but there's other people that I prefer seeing as champion over him right now. So there's too much people to compete with. So I think having him win the US title would actually benefit him a lot, because the US title's low-key been on limbo land for a long time. Logan Paul's been doing good with the US title, but I think LA Knight could easily take that to new heights. So in order for people, I don't think his hype went away. His hype is still there. He still gets crowd reactions. As soon as he gets out on SmackDown, everybody loves him. He gets one of the biggest pops of the night. So I don't think LA Knight's pop went anywhere. It's just that he's not booked in championship title runs right now. So yeah, I think him versus Logan Paul will be amazing, and I think LA Knight is the right person to take the United States Championship away from him. So yeah, give LA Knight a US title run. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I got 1,000 subscribers in the span of a damn week. Like, yo, it's insane. 10 days ago we was at 90 subscribers, and now we're 1,000. We're at 1,000 right now. Currently, as we speaking, we're at 1.1 thousand. That's insane. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the videos. I'm glad you guys have been sharing the videos, liking the videos, commenting on the videos, and yeah, I'm just enjoying all the positive reactions that I'm getting. Get out of here. You know what? We're gonna do something new. Actually, we're gonna do something new. Instead of queuing the outro, we're gonna do it myself. Ready? Dun 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 dun.